Hello, my name is John Howell. Today I'm going to talk to you about the 3-4-5 rule. So the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to put in our very first post. This will be the front corner of our building. All right, AJ, go ahead and grab our other tape measure. So what we'll do now is we'll hook our tape measure onto this first post that we've driven in, and we will measure down 60 feet. All right, here's our 60 feet. Coming across our front, our post, and this actually gives us kind of the outline of the front wall to our building. Now let's talk about how we're going to use the 3-4-5 rule to lay out the next leg of our building. The 3-4-5 rule works this way. As long as we have a right triangle, one leg is 3 foot, the other leg is 4 foot, that means that the line across here, if we were taking a tape measure and measure from this point to this point, would measure 5 feet across. This is all based off the Pythagorean theorem, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And that's where we get 3 foot, 4 foot, 5 foot. And we can also do this with multiples of 3. So if, let's say we want 3 times 3 is 9, 3 times 4 is 12, 3 times 5 is 15. So this would also similarly look, if this was measured 9 foot across here, 12 foot across here, that means that the measurement from here to here would be 5 foot. This is the concept we're going to use to square up our building and make sure that our wall, our second wall we're going to put up here, is exactly square to the first one that we put up. The way we're going to do that is because we have a 60-foot wide building, we're going to times this 3-4-5 by 20. So that means we're going to have 60-foot measurement across the front, 80 foot down the side, and 100 foot on the angle. So let's go do that now. So what we're going to do for our 3-4-5 rule is I'm going to slip one of my tape measure ends over top of this post right here. My assistant is going to run the other tape measure down to that post down there. And I'm going to start walking down the length of the building here. Yep, just slide it right over top. All the way down the bottom. And I'm going to start walking back. And when I get to 80 feet and 100 feet, where those two line up, will give me a perfect right angle. So I've got my tape measures pulled nice and taut, so that I know my measurements are good. And right where this 80 and this 100 meet, right there in that V, right here, that's where my post needs to be driven in at. Now that we've measured, we have this post at 80 foot. We know this post is at a perfect right angle to our front wall that we did earlier, or our front layout wall we did earlier. Now I can hold my tape measure, or take my tape measure, pull it taut, because this tape measure is just like a string line. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure back to our 96 feet. And when my tape measure, pulled tight, just touches that metal post, I know that I'm square. So now we have 2 of our walls complete. And we know that those 2 walls are square to each other. So what we're going to do now is our brand new post that we just put in. We're going to hook our tape measure to that now. We're going to bring that across to 60 feet. Our other tape measure we have connected to our front line. So we know where that's at 96. Where the 96 and the 60 meet. So this is where we're going to put our post in. So we have our official 4 corner posts in right now. We know the building is completely square because when we measure from far corner to far corner, we have 113 feet and 2 inches. It doesn't matter which way you measure it, you get 113 and 2 inches. So we know the building is perfectly square right now.